To start off, I just want to say this challenge is hell. Not just because of how many rules there were, but also every little thing in between. And yet, here I am, a guy whose greatest game-related achievement was beating Mario Odyssey in 4 hours. The rules were this: permadeath, meaning I can't continue if I die. That's why this is called a Nuzlocke. I also can't pick up weapons I've picked up before. But for those of you who have played Tears of the Kingdom before, you might be wondering what I consider a weapon I've never picked up before. Well, I'm talking about the base weapon. So after I pick up a wooden stick, that means I can't pick up anything that's fused with the wooden stick. What this means is I can only use weapons that have little question marks above them. After all of that, we have the most tough one: fight everything in sight. So if I see it, I have to kill it. Now this seems easy, but not looking at enemies is almost impossible, since usually you can just avoid them. But if I glance at them and especially acknowledge them, well, then I better be prepared to fight. This rule is pretty much the run killer, ruined so many of my good runs. Now one story related rule I also have is to have to do all the dungeons and get all the sages. And just as the last one, as a cheating prevention, I can't save scum. This means I can't reload any saves, fix any of my previous mistakes. But the rules out of the way, let me just get one last important thing out of the way. Go check out Smallant. All jokes aside, great content creator. Also, I am doing this in Tears of the Kingdom. So, with that out of the way, and this boring long intro out of the way, what it's like when a random guy goes through hell in Tears of the Kingdom. The first runs were okay, but a majority of the time I only got to the second shrine in the tutorial section. So yeah, I'm not really good at the game, but then something magical happened. I'd finally had an amazing run. I made it to the 4th shrine easily without any issues, and all of a sudden I got into a fight with the stone talus. Are you freaking kidding me? This is really scary. I am scared for my life. This is not fun. And it's permadeath too, so what do I do? It was clear I needed to come up with a plan and actually be careful, because look at that. Look at that right there. Wow, that is... I don't even know how I survived that. I don't even, that was something. You think my next course of action after that would be, oh, maybe I should, like, you know, be more tactical about this? No, my approach is actually just rush the boss and hope I don't lose. And, so here's how that went. Okay, guys, you have to hear me out on this one. This is literally my only hope of beating this guy. No! Oh my gosh, this is a miracle. How did I not die? That didn't do anything. This was devastating. An almost flawless 2-hour run. Gone. I wanted to quit so badly. And even worse, the next few ones were less than great. A few weeks later, no, you didn't hear that wrong. It took me multiple weeks to get a good run again. But I finally had a run that looked extremely promising. After an embarrassing 5 hours of attempts, I also had made a rule that if the enemy is small and can't really do much to affect the run, I can ignore them. In other words, I don't have to fight beast flocks, since that would take way too long, and that wouldn't even add that much difficulty. But in this run, I was headed back to get the paraglider and a horse. I got a few minutes after reaching land. Then this happened. You know, what? What just happened? I was in shock and quickly realized that I needed to be way more careful if I wanted to beat this challenge. So I got the paraglider and decided that the Zora's Domain ability was probably the best ability I could get right now, since it acts as a shield and it'll help to prevent me from having to start from the beginning over stupid deaths. But then a realization I hadn't thought about, and it began to hit me. The Ganon fight. A genuine threat, considering the fact that I can't fight to save my life. This was worrying, but then I stopped thinking about it, because it wouldn't affect me until I got there, so I decided to worry about Zora's Domain first. Then I got distracted on this run, and died quite literally on a 7-hour run. That totally was not painful. I was so stuck that I decided to end stream there and rest up, and come back rested a year older. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention, this took so long that I aged like a whole year during this, and back to mindlessly grinding runs until I got lucky and didn't die like the idiot I am. Although, at this point in the video, it's pretty apparent that this was going to take some time. also some luck. So I then realized that, wait a minute, what if I just keep streaming every day until I beat the challenge? See, funnily enough, Point Crow is doing a Kaizo Ironmon challenge, and as of writing this is on attempt 39078. Future me here, he finally ended up beating the challenge and finally got over his collector's anxiety. So I decided to put myself through the same amount of torture, and as any good challenge YouTuber would do, I decided that I was going to stream every single day until I beat the challenge. Future me here, this entire mess of daily streams took so long that I ended up having to come up with a different approach. By around this point, I had done a bare minimum of at least 100 attempts or so. Between having to redo the tutorial section hundreds of times and barely making any progress, I was honestly starting to burn out. And to add on top of all of that, I had a few runs that were really demotivating me. A few examples were a 5-hour run that I had lost to a stone talus, but one that honestly started to further deter me from beating the challenge was a run where everything, and I mean almost everything, had gone flawlessly. The run consisted of me beating the tutorial without any issues, and even getting 2 of the Skyview towers finished. I even got to a point where I had all the weapon slots filled. Then one tiny little mistake ended up costing me the entire run. That thing, like, he swaps. Okay, actually no, I can fight you right now. I don't even need anything, I just... That could have been very bad. Thankfully I have these. Okay, it's not working? It's not working! Honestly, I kinda just felt burnt out from the challenge, so this really was just starting to add to that feeling. I really just wanted to quit the challenge at this point since it was honestly starting to just become more and more difficult. But I knew despite that, I knew I wanted to finish the challenge, so I came up with a compromise. What if I beat the challenge, but with an actual plan? So I decided that I'm going to split the video into 2, so I can have an entire video for beating the challenge. The reason for this is honestly because I know the quality of the video would just absolutely crumble if I kept on making the video. Also, not to mention, this video idea was taking an absolute toll on me. But also, I still really want to finish the challenge, so this was my best idea to actually have some kind of decent ending for the challenge. Anyway, before I end the video, I again really quickly do want to say, if you feel like you want to watch someone actually beat the challenge right now, you should definitely go watch Smallant's video on it. Also, really just want to give a really big thank you for you know, for watching the video. That's all I really wanted to say, for this outro. Okay, go watch something else now, I guess. Okay, bye.